Welcome to game 2 of Mikmer against Sstj. This time Sstj is going to have the Zapdos and Mikmer has Metagross. This is a very common lead matchup. Metagross is threatening a Choice Band Rock Slides, and Zapdos is threatening to Thunderbolt and get this Metagross down. Zapdos could also easily just switch or Baton Pass out. See what Mikmer wants to do, and that is get out to Lax to soak a potential Thunderbolt, but Sstj Baton passes out to Tyranitar, which will do well into Lax. So quite standard so far. Okay, this is an interesting turn. Mikmer appears very comfortable to just Earthquake into T-Tar straight away with Snorlax, even though there's been this Zapdos shown, which we saw on the other side last game, with Sstj being prepared to fight Tyranitar with Snorlax and not necessarily caring about conserving Snorlax's health that much. Anyway, Sstj pivots to Celebi, which is a nice move because it also captures a lot of typical Tyranitar switch-ins that you might see with Metagross and Snorlax, like Swampert or Suicune. So Celebi nicely covers the Earthquake, and I believe I'm correct in saying from Earthquake doing 9 that it's quite a tanky Celebi. So yeah, that's Leech Seed into a Body Slam. Celebi looks pretty defensive. Leech Seed gonna recover Celebi up nicely. This is sort of a kind of nice little micro play from Mikmer, just leaving Lax in while seeded to predict another Leech Seed. I mean, it's still not great because Snorlax takes that little bit more chip, and of course Celebi is presumably gonna have Recover anyway that it can still do. So maybe if I'm Mikmer, I switch there, but I don't mind it. Mikmer switches now, yeah. Goes to Mence. And Celebi Baton passes to Zapdos. Now, Salamence is not gaining leftovers, which means Choice Band, very much most likely. And even though Zapdos has shown itself to be faster, it can't stay in. And also can't Baton Pass because doesn't want to risk the speed tie and getting rock slided in case it's Jolly rather. So yeah, so it's a hard switch to Swampert as Mikmer goes to his own Swampert, which I guess is a nice catch-all playing around potential hidden power ice that Zapdos might press. So Pert on Pert, Sstj has a Celebi that he would like to get back in and get healthy. So I think that's what we're going to see here from him. Mikmer, that's interesting. He's willing to just straight up start surfing against another Swampert as opposed to going to anything else, which indicates that maybe he really values weakening this opposing Swampert because of course, there's been these physical offensive Pokemon shown, Metagross and Salamence, which would both very much appreciate any chip on Swampert they can get. Because it's going to be hard to protect, but Surfs will eventually add up. So there's Celebi in. Celebi's going to be able to recover up again. Yep, it's back healthy, and it can soak up Swampert nicely. Okay, this is interesting from Sstj. Leaving Celebi in like that. It's quite a ballsy play. Mikmer was maybe trying to predict Zapdos, because Zapdos was sort of something Sstj might think about as something that can beat both HP Flying and Earthquake at this point. Because of course Tyranitar gets destroyed by Earthquake / Brick Break. So Rockslide was aiming at Zapdos there, but it hits the Celebi that is apparently comfortable enough to stay in against Choice Band Mence, which I don't necessarily love because, of course, it's got to absorb Swampert, and we haven't seen anything else that can absorb Swampert that well so far. So maybe I would have switched, and maybe I would have got rock slided if I'm Sstj. But this stay in works well. Flinch isn't really going to matter that much because he's forced out. And there is a leech seed. So Celebi is just being really, really annoying. Oh, what? That is a bizarre turn. That's a really weird turn. So both of these players make a mistake here. Sstj, of course, has baton pass, which you can baton pass out of pursuit with, and Mikmer is still prepared to press pursuit after having seen baton pass. Okay, actually, no, I don't think a hard switch is necessarily horrible there. It's just a bit awkward. Sstj might not have the speed creep to actually be faster than a Jolly Tyranitar, so maybe wants to play around getting HP bugged with that hard switch as opposed to baton passing. So I guess that sort of makes sense for Sstj. Mikmer, and yeah, that pursuit. Yeah, I guess that pursuit sort of works out. Um, yeah, I guess they're thinking on a level above what I initially sort of anticipated that turn. I guess Sstj's Celebi is really, really slow. Like has no speed creep at all. Well, anyway, Celebi's in an awkward position because it's low. And it might be hard pressed to get in. Okay, so Sstj is going to get Swampert right back out of the pursuit are presumably some kind of scout for HP grass, as Mikmer is going to bring in his own Swampert, which appears to be his best reaction to Swampert, because of course these other four we've seen can't defeat Pert. But this Pert has shown Surf, which indicates Pert that not they can't necessarily beat other Perts. Oh, okay. I see what's up. So 39 to Zapdos with Surf means one thing. It means Endeavor Swampert with Surf. So I can see why he's trying to trade Perts now, because Endeavor Pert can do well against other Pert. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense of Endeavor Pert. Now I'm not sure how threatening Endeavor Pert is going to be, especially if because Surf could indicate not actually having Ice Beam. So Celebi can recover up. Dugtrio might well be faster. But anyway, Zapdos is back in, and Zapdos is quite dangerous. If you get a prediction right, you're really threatening, and there's only really Snorlax to soak it particularly well. Yep, Snorlax comes in, and that is a nice prediction, a Thunderbolt, which is rewarded even more with a crit. And that crit is just huge, because Snorlax can't do anything now. It's at 21. It's too low. So we'll see if Mikmer just wants to sack off Lax here, or alternatively pivot into something else and conserve Lax to try and get a boom somehow. Maybe against Celebi, because HP Grass can't kill Lax. If it can somehow get in on that. So Mikmer might conserve it. And yeah, goes to Magneton, takes 37 and gets paralyzed, which also sucks a lot. Zapdos baton passing out, going into Celebi, which is nice. And Mikmer goes for HP Grass, trying to catch one of these two ground types, Swampert or Dugtrio, which would be sort of like very intuitive Magneton switch-ins. But no, Celebi gets in. HP Fire is avoided. I guess Sstj was able to deduce that it's HP Grass because this team is so weak to Swampert otherwise that an HP Fire Magneton would just not make sense at all, and it's so offensive, and also doesn't particularly care about Fortress. So yeah, I guess he thought, okay, this is definitely HP Grass, so I can get this Celebi in on basically anything and get myself healthy again so that I can keep coming into Swampert. Oh. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, Baton Pass sort of makes sense. playing around this lax, because of course you don't want to recover up, let Snorlax in, and let it boom. I think he could potentially have still just recovered up, valued the Celebi's health quite highly. I mean, I value Celebi being healthy highly, recovering up when you can, and then just going to Tyranitar, and because Tyranitar is still healthy, it can tank Earthquake, and it'll survive Explosion, and I think that's still a good trade. And of course, T-Tar is not actually super useful against what we've seen. Swampert beats it. I don't know, maybe he values it as a flying resist for this choice band Mence, and instead prefers to keep momentum. And of course, this Baton Pass is going to let Zapdos back in, and Zapdos is just extremely threatening. We're going to see if Mikmer wants to just give up Lax now, or try another loop, maybe pivoting to Swampert on a Thunderbolt. Yeah, which he does. Of course, Zapdos is still threatening HP Grass, which is very likely to be, especially in conjunction with a Dog Trio like that. And yeah, that's nice. Calls the HP Grass, gets Magneton back in. And of course, Celebi is now low enough that it'll die to Thunderbolt. And these two grounds are still threatened by HP Grass. So it's a bit of a 50-50 of sorts. Goes to T-Tar, and Mikmer makes a fantastic move. The third option I didn't even really think about, which is Thunder Wave, because of course Sstj is reluctant to go to both these ground types, or alternatively Celebi, because they're threatened by either HP Grass or Thunderbolt respectively. Instead prefers to go to T-Tar, which doesn't particularly mind either of those attacks, and gets Thunder Waved as punishment. So the power on T-Tar could be super useful, especially because Lax is faster than it now. And that's compounded by a critical hit, which is really nice for Sstj, or rather for Mikmer, which means he can follow up with whatever. It's interesting that T-Tar is the follow-up, because of course T-Tar would just get dogged after it gets a kill. And this Tyranitar that's shown Earthquake. Shown Earthquake is threatening a Focus Punch, so you have to kill it. It's not even like this is a Dragon Dance T-Tar anyway, so it couldn't set up or something. I'm not sure Mikmer has anything better to do, because everything else is either choice banded or trapped by Doug itself. I don't know. I might have gone Lax here as Mikmer. Just take my Lax kill when I can, because it's one of the things Lax is going to be faster than. And yeah, there's the Focus Punch threatens. Tyranitar has to kill Brick Break, and now Doug is going to come in. Now Pursuit and Brick Break tends to be quite a tanky set, and tends to also have Ice Beam. So Tyranitar might well survive and kill back here. Yep, that's for 89. And yeah, Ice Beam kills. But I think that is a trade Sstj is kind of comfortable taking, because now Tyranitar is weakened, Zapdos is just in an even better position, and there's really not that much stopping it. It's just this Mence is almost in range for a Thunderbolt. Metagross can't necessarily deal with it itself without having to kill itself on the Zapdos. And of course Tyranitar could have tanked a couple of Thunderbolts, fired off Ice Beams in return. So, but on the other hand, Mikmer definitely doesn't mind the Doug kill, because Doug is there, able to revenge Endeavor Swampert, able to trap Metagross. Sstj's last, so it's shown these 5, and I think it would typically be Starmie here, because that's like a known team of sorts. He's 6 and with Starmie in the last, Starmie offers spin, Starmie offers something fast, late game win condition. The last move on Celebi might well actually be Calm Mind, which would make sense with a little mini chain passing to Starmie. And Star, Zapdos, and Swampert, I think, are all in a very good position here against Mikmer. So Sstj, yep, going to go to Zapdos, and Mikmer's presumably going to sack T-Tar off, yep, there's that. And there is Mence, knowing it can tank a Thunderbolt, and potentially fire back a rock slide. So Sstj might well respect that and go to Swampert here. Or alternatively sack off Celebi, which is also a fine move. And Sstj reveals his last here, Starmie, which of course is threatening Ice Beam on the Ments, threatening everything else. And I think if this is Endeavour, the best way of dealing with Starmie is actually at this point Metagross. So I think what we're going to see here is a Snorlax sack, because at this point Snorlax is actually genuinely useless, because it can't, it's slower than all of these three and dies to all of these three, so a Lax sack is definitely the move here. Yeah, Mikmer does that, and I think this is going to be followed up with Metagross here. So if you're Sstj, a couple of options. One is just going to Swampert, soaking up whatever physical attack this Metagross can offer, and just being aware that not much can actually switch into Swampert apart from this Endeavour Pert. Or alternatively, just taking damage on Metagross where you can with a Hydro Pump, because Boom is probably not something Mikmer wants to do here necessarily, because Zap and Star probably match up well into this and Pert. So Hydro Pump into Earthquake, trading damage is a good sequence, bringing Metagross closer to the range of Zapdos Thunderbolt killing. And yeah, there's Hydro Pump for 51 and Earthquake for 46. And Metagross shows itself to be gaining leftovers. I think I'm correct in saying that this Metagross is relatively tanky. And it might well protect here to get a little bit of health. One thing is, I don't think Sstj wants to give away Starmie here. And the reason I say that is because Starmie is the only thing that is faster than Swampert if Swampert manages to get itself down to Salak and indeed trade with this other Swampert. So we might see either a Zapdos switch or a Pert switch. Zap switch on the EQ makes sense. Pert switch is probably better overall though. And yeah, there is a Swampert switch on Protect. And Sstj, I think, is just going to try and take his damage where he can. With Earthquake, yep, that's another Protect. And Mikmer goes to Swampert here, trying to get the subs down. Endeavour, yep, and Earthquake doing 39 confirms this idea of Endeavour. Swampert not getting leftovers. Surf for 37. Earthquake brings it into Salak, but Salak is not going to be enough, because no matter what this Swampert does, it A, can't actually kill the opposing Swampert, and B, even if it did, would be outsped by this Starmie. Yeah, Swampert's going to get a nice free Protect in, recover up, keep itself safe against Endeavour, and also make Mikmer reveal what he's actually going to go into here. And that is Ments. Pert can get another Protect. I'm just trying to think if Metagross is better here. No, I don't think it is. Ment is right. Press Ment, Hidden Power. That's fine. So Sstj will get another Protect. Doesn't survive that because Choice Band Ment is strong, but can of course go to the Flying Resist now. And Zapdos, which I wasn't sure was faster earlier, but I think it took sand damage before twice, so you could have fairly well assumed it was faster. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, because this thing is choice locked. And it now looks like a safe win, because Protect and Rock Slide are mutually exclusive, and Metagross can't boom itself. And a couple of Thunderbolts, because of course it survives a Meteor Mash, into a Starmie Thunderbolt will finish off this Metagross. Even through these Protect turns Metagross is going to take to recover itself. So yeah, that is Protect. There's one Thunderbolt. I believe the Thunderbolt's going to do somewhere in the 40s. Yep, that's 45. Meteor Mash. You're going to see another Protect. Yep, on the Thunderbolt. And this one, this T-Bolt is going to bring it really low. completely compromised. Gets an attack raise, which is nice because it ensures Earthquake kill if this somehow doesn't have Thunderbolt and misses Hydro Pump. But I think it's going to be pretty meaningless. And Mikmer doesn't protect, which is interesting. I think I would have pressed protect a couple of times and hoped somehow. Maybe I think a triple protect is what you might need. Triple protect into miss, but I guess no, just didn't want to play that game. And Sstj is going to take this game too. Really interesting. I think Sstj had a very, very strong team matchup. Played it decently well. Mikmer did a couple of good things to get himself back in. He used his Magneton very, very well against a team that really shouldn't have been this threatened by Magneton. But Sstj did nicely. He had Zapdos, the Swampert, and the Starmie, which all matched up very, very well against Mikmer's team, and he's going to take this game too. And we're going to see game 3.